Hi everyone, it's Ramesha here with Vocal Bliss. Today I would like to address a question that people sometimes ask me. They ask, how do you hold a long note steady without wobbling, without anything, just a nice steady tone? So this is what I'm going to cover in this video today. And before we start, I'd like to invite you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, so that you can receive more videos like this in the future. So first of all, let's ask ourselves the question, why does the voice wobble? What are the causes for it? So in this video, I'm going to cover 4 main causes. One is lack of proper breath support. The other one is lack of correct placement of the tone. The other one is tension, good old tension. And then there's also a 4th one that I'd like to address because it's particularly important for people of a certain age especially, because as we age, the voice goes through some changes, and I want to address that and how we can keep our voice nice and steady even as we get older. So as far as breath support, I want to explain a little bit, but I also want to invite you to watch my video called Breathing Techniques for Singing, which has an in-depth explanation of how to breathe correctly and diaphragmatically in order to support your singing well. Here I'm going to just touch on a few things. So in general, when you inhale, make sure that you inflate your belly. If you put your hand on your belly and take a slow inhalation, you should feel distinctly your belly moving out and inflating like a balloon. If you don't feel that, try to do it. Really, because some people have the diaphragmatic muscle is kind of a little bit atrophied, and because they never use it, they always breathe up here. And so if that doesn't happen with you, so put your hand on your belly, inflate, and try to almost feel like instead of your lungs, you're breathing with your belly. And so feel that your air is going down and inflating your belly that way. It's not exactly what happens, but it will help you to visualize it that way. Then, when you sing, make sure that your belly muscles are engaged. So you should feel your belly somewhat tense while you're singing, while you're exhaling. Singing happens on the exhalation. So when you're exhaling, feel that those muscles are engaged, and they are engaged because they provide the air pressure that is necessary for the vocal cords to work properly. So once again, go watch that video for a more detailed explanation of this. Okay, let's now talk about correct placement. So placing the notes in singing means to sing a note in such a way that it's full, resonant, and relaxed. So basically it's using all of the sound that your vocal cords can possibly produce without effort. So it's being able to do that. When you're able to do that, it means that your voice is placed correctly. And it's called placement because, in fact, to you as a singer, even though you don't see what's happening in here, it really feels like you're putting the sound in a certain place in your throat. And as you learn to do that, because you repeat exercises that help you to develop this, you keep doing it and you develop a certain muscle memory, basically. And so every time you sing a note, you know exactly where to place it. Whereas in the beginning, you don't know. You just produce a sound, but you don't really know what's happening. But as you practice, you become more and more sensitive to where the sound is supposed to be placed in your throat. Usually it takes some time to learn to coordinate all the muscles that are involved in this process of correct placement. But you can at least try these 2 exercises. One is basically just enunciating the vowel to make sure the sound is full and then holding it for a moment. E, 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 E. You can do that. And make sure you're enunciating very clearly so that the sound stays full. Another exercise that you can try to help you develop more your resonance is instead so go from humming the tone, humming the note, to then opening your mouth and saying a vowel. I said it could be any vowel. So this is a good exercise to give you the idea of resonance, because when you hum, you bring the tone up in the upper area of your head, basically of your skull, your nasal passages, and that will help you to create more resonance. Okay, so these two exercises are very simple, but you can practice them, and you'll notice that in a short amount of time you should be able to feel your tone becoming fuller, but at the same time relaxed and resonant. So go ahead and try these. So tension, number 3 is tension. So tension is probably one of the worst enemies of good singing, because we tend naturally to do way more than is needed to sing. And so tension tends to creep in, and especially when you're learning to sing, when you're really learning correct vocal technique, 99% of the times people who start learning to sing have tension, and so much of the work is about releasing tension that is not necessary from your throat so that you can sing correctly and without effort. So an exercise that you can do to release tension is holding a note. Holding a note, and while you hold, consciously and gradually relax the throat. There's no time to think about relaxing when you're singing a bunch of notes, but if you're singing one note and holding it, that gives you the time to gradually relax more and more and more deeply. An exercise that you can try is the one we just did earlier with E, and instead of doing it short like this, hold the third note a little longer. So take a nice deep breath, use your belly, inflate your belly to take a deep breath, and then E, relax the throat, relax as you hold. As you relax, you will feel that the tone tends to get bigger, not so much in volume, although that can happen too, but bigger in the sense that it's deeper and richer. And that's the result of relaxing the throat. So try that. This is a really, really good exercise to get rid of tension. It's simple, but it's very, very effective. So the fourth issue with the voice not being stable and wobbling has to do with age. And I want to emphasize here the fact that the voice is made of muscles, basically. So what do you do with the rest of your body to stay in good shape? You exercise it, right? So you take walks, you run, you go to the gym, whatever are the things that you do to keep your body strong and healthy. So in singing, the same thing happens, the same thing applies. So as long as you keep doing your exercises regularly, your warm-ups regularly, and by regularly I mean hopefully every day, you don't stay without singing for weeks and weeks, because as you get older, you notice that every time you restart, it's harder. It's harder. The muscles are stiff, just like your legs would be if you don't walk for a long time. And then what happens when you walk the first time after a long time, or run? The next day your muscles are sore. And the voice tends to do the same thing. All of a sudden you start singing, and then maybe the next day the voice is not quite there. Maybe it's a little hoarse. So the best thing that you can do to keep your voice healthy for a long time, for basically your whole life, is use it. Use it well, but use it, and use it often. Make sure you use all your range. Don't limit yourself to singing in a short little range. Don't be stingy about that. Just warm it up and then use it. Go up there, keep going up into the upper part of your range, hit all those high notes, don't be afraid. Just do it regularly, because if you don't, you lose the range. The voice tends to kind of close up on itself, and the range becomes smaller and smaller. So make sure you regularly exercise your voice. You regularly hit all the range that you're capable of without straining, but go up there, go down there, and go up there. And then also, and this is very important, that you do this only when you have good technique and only when the voice is well warmed up. But also make sure that you sing really to the max of your volume. So don't always sing soft. Belt it out once in a while. Just make sure that you use your whole volume, your whole range on a regular basis. I mean, use common sense. If the voice doesn't feel quite right sometimes, maybe don't do as much. But it's very important that you challenge it a little bit. Really treat it like a muscle, because it is. It's actually more than one, but you know what I mean. So it's very important. And if you do that, and if you do it well, then you can get all the way to your 70s, 80s, 90s even, if you want. And your voice will still be there. What makes the voice become kind of breathy and weak is usually lack of muscle tone. Here, your belly muscles, which is what helps you to breathe correctly. So make sure that you have strong diaphragmatic breathing, strong abdomen. All these things help to really keep the voice good and strong. The voice sometimes at an older age starts to wobble more, but that's usually because of lack of muscle tone. So once again, make sure that you work out these muscles. Don't get into, this is maybe a little bit more personal, but don't get into that mental habit of thinking that, oh, I'm old, this is why, oh, I can't do this anymore because I'm old. Try to not accept that mentally. Just, do your best. I mean, things happen when we get old. There's no way around it. But don't accept limitation as, oh, okay, no, I can do it. Just do your best. Do your best. Try. Keep it going. Especially if you've put out a lot of effort to learn. You don't want to let it go too easily. So stick with it. Just fight for it and keep it going. All right. So I hope this video was helpful to you. These are 4 things that you can put into practice very, very easily to help your voice be more steady, more consistent, and not wobble. It may take some time because it's also the result of a lot of coordination between muscles. So give it some time. Don't get discouraged. But if you do these things consistently and do them well, you'll see that you'll be able to have more control and really hold nice long notes that have absolutely no, the voice doesn't do weird things. It just stays there where you want it to be. I wish you all the best in this attempt. And if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel to see more videos in the future. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.